Welcome to EdTech Tuesday. I'm Jennifer Gibson.
And I'm Rich Dixon.
Today we're going to be looking at an app. I believe it's on math. Rich, you want to tell us more about it?
It is. It's designed for elementary students, grades K all the way through 6, and it's called MathTime RT.
Okay, what's the price?
Price is free right now, but note, like all apps in the App Store, those prices can fluctuate depending upon what the developer, the people that created the app, are looking to get for their app.
Okay, so you said this is for K6. What does it do and who's the audience? Is it, general education?
This is a math app that's designed for remediation, and it's designed to help students to go back and practice certain math skills. Let's dive in and take a look.
All right, let's take a look.
I'll go ahead and launch that app. And we can see the main menu here.
Nice.
We can see all the different skills that are listed here.
All right.
Arranging, range, math rack. It's one of their games, in a sense, that they have within here to practice.
Okay.
Additions to 20, which I'm going to go ahead and select just as an example.
All right.
One thing that's really nice if you yourself as a teacher or if you have a classroom aide or a parent volunteer,
right,
you get a set of instructions and some background.
So this looks like this is for the adult, not the student, because that's a lot of words for a student.
It's a lot of text.
Okay.
One thing I do like, as you can see here, is there's a goal here. There's an objective.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to go ahead and just tap behind that here, and we can see that the game grid is laid out here. I'm going to press 1 star.
All
that
right.
just means it's an easier or more simple practice to do here.
All right.
And we have a collection of numbers here, and I press 1. 1 plus 9 equals 10. Again, we're working on sums, so the students would need some sort of background there.
So what it looks like to me, I'm already seeing this, is that they do need the directions before they can start playing. So based on their ability to read that text, they probably are going to have an adult give the directions for the game.
I would recommend that. That's
At least the first time.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's a good thing to keep in mind. Let's go back to the main menu, and we can take a look at some of the other examples here. One thing I do want to point out is it does keep track of scores. You can see an
really
example
nice.
Here.
How many students will it keep track of?
This is optimized for a single student at a time. So if you have 1 or 2 different students using a single iPad, or more students than that, you're not going to be able to see the accomplishments of each student. You certainly could. If I needed to, I could go back and just tap the red X, and it clears my progress. I can go back and restart the practice there.
Got it.
So one way around that, as you're leading us into this, is to simply record the scores after the student is finished. Again, that would
or even
probably
take a photo of it.
You could take a snapshot. If you don't know how to do that real quickly, that's the home button and the power button. Hold both those down. You'll see a flash on the screen, and then inside of the Photos app, you'll find that there. So that is another way to report.
I think that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else do we need to know?
Well, again, it is free. I do think there's some great merit to it if you want students to work on their times tables.
Right.
Again,
and I think the cons are pretty obvious, not being able to keep track of multiple students, but we gave you a workaround for that. I also think the text for the directions is pretty heavy, so it looks like in some cases, depending on the age, grade, and reading skills of the students, you would need to have an adult read those directions or at least give the directions verbally, at least the first time, I'm thinking.
Yes, and again, this is set up for remediation, and I could see this being a great tool for individual students or a small group that's working to figure out some of the skills here and become more proficient in those that are laid out in this app.
Nice.